Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Squid Prince, and today I have an X and Y Wi-Fi battle for you against my good buddy Ksnake. So today I was looking for X and Y battles, and I don't know, nobody seems to be accepting my challenges from the Wi-Fi locator on the game or whatever. So I was in the Showdown chat, and I noticed that Ksnake was also looking for X and Y battles. So I was like, hey man, let's battle. Let's do a little thing. We always have good matches, so why not? And also, if you didn't notice, Pokebank is now available in the US, and I'm very excited about that. I was so excited that I transferred most of my Pokemon over yesterday when it opened, and I have 2 of them on my team today. My little Infernape, which I'm running my Mixed Life Orb set, and my Milotic, which is also from my Black and White 2. Just like a standard Milotic set, Surf, Ice Beam, Recover, and Toxic. The rest of my team, I'm running Holucha. I'm running Swords Dance Fling with King's Rock with Dual Stab, so I will have Acrobatics and High Jump Kick. Charizard X, which I got a good Charizard meant for Charizard Xenite in a trade from this guy. He was very nice. I don't remember what I traded him for it, but I'm using that. Also using my custom set Trevenant with the Trick Room, Power Up Punch, Horn Leech, and Shadow Claw. And then my favorite Garchomp set, Sub, Swords Dance, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw. As for my opponent, he has a very good Water, Fire, Grass core. So he's got Feraligatr, which is always a vicious threat in my opinion. He's one of my favorite Pokemon. He's got a Metagross, which is always tough as well. Sceptile, that speed is unbelievable. Scarfed Darmanitan, because who doesn't run Scarfed Darmanitan? It just makes sense. So that thing always hits hard. He's actually running Charizard Y, so we're going to get to see a nice little Charizard battle today as well, and his Ferrothorn to set up his hazards. So let's get right into it. So now, my game plan from the beginning was he's probably going to lead with Ferrothorn because he wants to get his hazard up and his rocks and all that happy bullshit. So I'm going to lead with Holucha. And what I want to do is I want to set up at least 2 Swords Dances. First one predicting the Stealth Rocks, and the second one predicting the Leech Seed. And I figured if I'm here, I could definitely take out the Ferrothorn with a High Jump Kick. The only problem with that is I shouldn't go for High Jump Kick because then I wouldn't get my Unburden boost. So now he ends up going for the Leech Seed, and here I end up going for the High Jump Kick. And this is pretty much going to kick me right in the butt because now he's able to bring in anything, which you'll see in a second what it will be, to come in and pretty much knock me out. But I guess at the time my process was, oh, he could bring in anything, because honestly I forgot to write down his team before the game started, so I kind of forgot about Darmanitan. So once I saw that come in, his big shiny man, I figured it's over. I'm just going to let it go. There's no point in really saving it and having something come in and take a stab Flare Blitz, or 2 of them in that matter. So I figured he'll just go down, and I can have another way to deal with this thing. So I ended up bringing in my Milotic, and I figure, alright, he's probably going to switch because he doesn't want to hit me with a Flare Blitz and then take a Surf and go out. So what I do is I make the safe play, and I go for a Toxic on the switch. He brings in his Sceptile, so, and unfortunately for me, I missed the Toxic, and I was like, alright, I got to get out of here. I can't be in here. So I end up bringing in my Trevenant to take the hit, because I figure, even though it's not like a bulky base, I could still at least take some kind of grass move. In the back of my head, I was thinking Swords Dance Acrobatics. I hope that's not it, but he's running a special set, so I take the Leaf Storm, and now here I figured my best bet is to set up my Trick Room, because if he ends up bringing in the Darmanitan, he'll now be the slowest thing with the Scarf, and if he brought in anything else, I would outspeed, and I have options to work with. So he brings in his Feraligatr. I go for the Trick Room. I end up go for the Horn Leech as well and get most of my health back, and I take out the Feraligatr, so that really isn't a problem anymore. It could have been a huge problem, but that gets stopped right in its tracks. Now he ends up bringing in his Charizard, and I don't want to be in for excuse me. I don't want to be in for that because I know that a Shadow Claw isn't going to kill it from full health, and I have things to deal with Charizard, which would be my Ludic, which I'm running Special Defense, Max HP. Now, also in the back of my head, I'm thinking Solar Beam. I hope he didn't predict me and go for a Solar Beam, but fortunately, he does not. He goes for the Fire Blast, a safe play. I guess he really didn't want to mess around with the Trevenant at all, especially seeing Trick Room, and he didn't want it to do any shenanigans. Here I kind of make a silly, I guess you might be able to call it silly, because I end up going for a Recover, and then he comes in with the Solar Beam. I am able to tank the hit, so I do live, but I was thinking, instead of Recover, well, I guess it's not too bad of a play, but I do want to get at least a Surf off before I get decimated. So it takes away a good chunk. Move it back a little bit. It takes away like a decent chunk, and he ends up taking me out with the Air Slash. Now, the dimensions are back to normal, so now I can bring in my Garchomp now and scare it out. So I think I probably should have went for a sub here, but I figured I really don't want to mess with Mega Charizard. I'd rather just go for, you know, a safe Dragon Claw and hit whatever comes in hard if it wants to switch out. So I do great. Look at the damage. You can barely see it on the camera, but it's a great amount of damage is done to the Sceptile. So I switch out because I know I really don't want to mess with it. It's powerful, it's fast. I end up bringing in the Trevenant to take a hit, and he reveals to me here that he carries Hidden Power. Now I could only assume it would be Hidden Power Ice, because the Garchomp was in, and it's still super effective on my Trevenant. I figured he wouldn't carry HP Ice because it's X and Y, it's a lot harder to breed now, but so I felt safe bringing in the Trevenant. So now he ends up bringing in the Charizard now, and I figured I'll just go for a Shadow Claw, and I thought I had him. People, he's alive. He lives on 1 HP, and I was like, oh, I was so close. That would have made this game so much simpler. But his rocks are up. I figured I'll bring in my Charizard, because I didn't think he would go for Roost. Honestly, that I wasn't thinking he would have it. So he goes for the Roost, and now I'm banking on a Speed Tie. Like, I need to win this Speed Tie to take him out. I was just going to go for an Outrage and try and clean up. I didn't want to go for a Flare Blitz because I didn't know if that would kill. But look at this. Black Charizards everywhere. Pretty sweet. Unfortunately for me, he wins the Speed Tie and takes me out with an Air Slash, so my Charizard really didn't do anything this game. However, I do have my Garchomp still, and I do outspeed, so I do play a little risky. I thought he might switch out again into the Sceptile, so I ended up going for a sub, and fortunately for me, he actually misses the Fire Blast, which is huge. So now that means that I'm able to get a Dragon Claw off on the Charizard, and I do end up taking it out. So now his Charizard's down. I figured he'll probably bring in the Darmanitan because he wants to break my sub. Personally, I thought he was going to go for a U-turn just to like break the sub and, you know, switch right into his Sceptile. But that's not the thing. He actually uses Superpower. And I'm like, okay, this is my thought process. He does that, I'm going to resub. Like, his attack and defenses are going to keep dropping. But what's happened to me in the past is usually when I run into a situation like this, I usually run out of enough HP to make another sub, and they can still break my sub, because I know Darmanitan is very powerful, Superpower is a strong attack, and I don't believe that I could keep a sub up with him still doing those attacks to me. So I figured my best play is let me keep as much health as I can, just in case I have to, you know, try and tank a hit at some point during the game. Let me just go for the Earthquake and take it out. So now his Darmanitan is down, and the Sceptile has to come in. So my game plan from here on out is the HP Ice is coming. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm actually going to end up sacking my Trevenant, so I can get a free switch into my Infernape, is what I wanted to do. But then he pulls this out of his back pocket. Turns out he's Resto Chesto. I wasn't expecting this at all. It took me completely by surprise. And now I'm like, alright, I'm in a predicament now. I know he only has coverage of 2 moves. It's either going to be HP Ice or Leaf Storm, which is going to drop his special attack greatly. So he goes for the HP Ice. So now I need to deal with this thing. I bring in my Infernape. Now, I was like, I have to at least live a Leaf Storm. I know I can because I'm Infernape. I resist it. I'm just hoping I can. So I do. Now what the plan is, I need to hit an Overheat because a Flare Blitz would have knocked me out from that range, most likely. I needed this thing out of the way so that now all he has left is his Metagross. And then all that I have left is my Infernape, which is pretty much done for because Life Orb Recoil and all that's going to take me down. So I figured my best bet at this point is to just go for a Mach Punch, get any damage I can because anything is helpful. Because I figured he'd probably go for Bullet Punch. But in the back of my head I was fearing what if he goes for Agility, but I don't know what his set is, so I don't know. I will never know because I've only seen Bullet Punch so far. So now, at this point, I am free to bring in my Garchomp and go for an Earthquake. And hopefully be able to take it out. I know he's probably running max HP, max attack, but I do end up going for the Earthquake. He didn't go for Bullet Punch. I didn't know what other move he's going to go for. And I end up taking him out, and that ends up being the game. A very narrow 1-0, which is usually the case between us. Always have close battles. I look forward to more battles in the future. Please do me a favor. I will put Ksnake's link down in the description. Go check out his channel. He puts up good stuff, good battles. He's a good kid. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.